It's 7 o'clock.
Everybody's here except Jason and James.
Okay. All right, well, it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Is there someone who would like to offer the opening prayer? Bob?
I'll do it. Let us pray. Dear Lord, please help us make the best decisions for the town and for the citizens of the town. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
You've taken the roll.
Yes, sir.
Approval, everyone has had a copy of the December 14th board meeting minutes and the January 5th, 21 workshop minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, they stand approved as written. We will go, if it's all right with everyone, comments from the community. Do we have anyone from the community who would like to address the board? Okay, we will then go to, if without objection, I want to go down to item 7.2, a motion, an ordinance to rezone 3 properties owned by Janet Parsons Vanelli located on Jernigan Drive from various zonings to the multifamily residential. This would be on first reading. This has been recommended by the Planning Commission. The information that we requested the other day at the workshop has been provided and is attached. I hope you've all had a chance to look at all of that. Bob?
Yes, sir. I'll show you the map of the properties, the 3 properties again. Already, hold on a second. There's the map. It's lot number 32, lot number 33, and lot number 4. Each one of those has a different zoning, but they want to rezone them all to multifamily residential for the purpose of building an apartment complex there. The entrance will be on Jernigan Drive right there.
Hey, Bob, just to clarify, lot 33 is on the map. That's shown as that's not part of it. It's that little, where your
I'm
cursor
sorry, it's
is.
just a little strip right here. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
That's right.
That's lot 31.
31.
Yeah, it's not on that map. Hang on a second. Yeah, lot 30. That's lot 31. I'm sorry about that. You see it on the screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's those 3 lots, that lot, and lot 4.
Okay, is there a motion to approve on first reading the rezoning of those 3 properties?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance 2021-002 to rezone the 3 properties. Is there any discussion?
Mayor Mike French.
Yes, sir.
The public hearing on this will be next week. Is that next month? Is that correct?
That is correct. It will be
Okay,
advertised.
Yeah, advertised, and I hope notices will be sent out to the neighboring property owners in,
Yes, sir.
in my neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
How far do we send those notices?
The adjoining property owners is what I would send them to.
Okay,
Mayor, if you could, I'd like to send it to everyone that doesn't live in multifamily in Jernigan, on Jernigan.
well, have we put the sign up out there?
Not yet. No, we didn't pass it on first reading yet. We'll
Yeah,
put it
we
up
will
there.
tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay. And we normally only send it to adjoining property owners.
That's what we've done in the past. Yeah, that's what we did last time. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I think for consistency, that's all we can continue to do. Otherwise, I don't know how we determine when we're going to send notices to more people unless we want to start sending notices to more people routinely. I don't know exactly how. I do know some cities send notices within so many feet. I don't know how we would do that, Mike,
Okay, well,
unless we're going to start, doing it
okay.
on every rezoning.
Well, I'll get a copy of the advertisement and take it to all my neighbors. Because I just don't want anybody to say, well, I didn't know anything about this.
Right. Well, we'll be putting up a sign tomorrow on the property. there
Yes,
on
sir,
Jernigan
tomorrow.
Road. That will
Yeah, on
say
the
that-
property there on Jernigan Drive. Yes, sir.
That'll say that, this property is being rezoned or has requested. I don't know exactly what the sign says, but it does say that there will be a public hearing and a rezoning. And we will run that in the newspaper with an ad, with a map and the fact that it would be rezoned. Is there any more discussion? If you would call the roll.
Yeah. Mike,
Aye.
Judy,
Aye.
Sandra,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Colin,
Aye.
Jason, have you made it yet? I guess Jason didn't make it. And Mayor?
Aye. Okay, Mr. Pope, that passes on first reading. We will have to do that again in February on the second Monday.
Okay.
We will have a public hearing at that point to give anybody a chance to comment on this that would like to. But other than that, that takes care of it for tonight.
Will that public hearing, will it be in person? Is it going to be a in-person meeting? Or is it going to be a Zoom meeting as well?
At this point, it would be a Zoom meeting. Whether we may try to decide, well, obviously, we could give people the opportunity to submit written comments. But anybody that wants to join our meetings are sent the same exact information for the meeting that our board members are. So they have the capability of commenting. So I don't know.
If I need to come in person, we can certainly do that.
Okay. It might be good if you could be in attendance at the Zoom meeting. But we will have all this information available for people that want to know what's going on.
All right. Well, very good. Well, thank you again for your consideration. We're excited about the possibility of coming to Somerville, and we look forward to the next meeting. Bob, if you need anything else from me, please just let us know.
I think we're good to go.
All right. Well, very good. Well, we will drop off.
Well, thank you for attending.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have Andy here with the museum facade design. If there's no objection, we'll go ahead and take that up. That is item 7.4. Motion to approve the museum facade design and develop the specifications for the project. Bob?
On your screen, there's a picture of the vision of the front of the museum, which is similar or almost the same as the front or the facade of Farmers Hardware across the street. The buildings are approximately the same age, and there are a lot of elements of both buildings that are virtually identical. We have been given a budget. I gave you the short version of the budget. We saw the long version of the budget last week. This was the budget that Andy showed me, which shows you the estimated with contingency. So if you include all the contingencies and both parts of the design, the whole total project will be $108,000. is the estimate at this time. So I would imagine that we could, if we wanted to, eliminate the eyebrows if there's if the budget gets too out of control, and do that at a future time. But I don't know if everybody is, really interested in doing the whole thing all at once. But I think all we're doing now is allowing Andy to go ahead and design this project for us, do the specifications for us.
Right, and, okay.
Is that right, Andy?
Yes, sir. And we could
Uh-oh.
work on the eyebrows around the second floor windows if you want to get a separate price on that.
Yeah, I think we need a separate price on that. Don't you think so, Mayor?
Yeah, let's bid it in two different projects just to see, and then we can always, just to see what, tonight we're approving you finishing the design, developing the specifications. And do we want to add going out for bid, or is there a need to come back to the board once the specifications are finished to then approve going out to bid? I'm not sure that there's any need for that, because we would have at the next meeting, right, Andy?
Yes, sir, Mayor. This is such a small project. If we could go ahead and get a resolution to approve the preparation of the bid documents and put it out for bid, and we can bring back the pricing to the board once received.
And then the board could decide at that point. Okay.
So when do you anticipate those, the bids to come in, Andy?
If we get approval tonight, we should be able to receive bids in the end of April, 1st of May, and we should get approval and be able to execute the contracts in May.
Okay, so May 10th is that board meeting.
And we could hopefully set the bid date before the workshop. So you guys could.
Yeah,
take
that would be good. Okay,
Mayor,
Andy,
could I
did-
make a motion?
you may.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we do two separate bids, one on the eyebrows and one on the frontage, and Andy go on and complete his specifications.
All right, and go out to bid to
Yeah,
be
and go out to bid,
prepared
go
for
out
the
to bid.
May, for the May
Right.
workshop.
That's fine. Yes, that's part of my
Okay.
motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve Andy completing the specifications and the bid documents and bringing the bids back to the May workshop meeting. Is there further discussion?
Andy, did you ever check to see if there could be another way to do trim other than wood for the eyebrows?
Yes, I looked at several manufacturers. Advanced Plastics has a Memphis office, and yes, so there are composite materials that we can specify for those that will be more durable than the wood. That was a good point.
Great.
I guess
Okay.
would it be any cheaper than the wood?
Yeah, I would think it would be. I think it would be too. I might be dreaming.
I guess the unfortunate thing, there's only once we create the mold, it's going to be pretty expensive per unit, but we'll see how the various manufacturers are bid and see if we can get a couple of manufacturers to compete.
I like
But
how
Andy-
he uses these terms like pretty expensive and not too bad and that kind of stuff. Small project, so what's not too expensive? $1,000 a piece, $5,000 a piece? I mean,
We're
Andy, if you could in the specs, spec the mold would be the property of the town of Somerville.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Ooh, that's good, yeah.
Okay, is there any more discussion? You'd call the roll?
Sandra,
Aye.
Colin,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Judy, James,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Jason, you're still not there yet, are you? I'm sorry. He's not on my list. I just want to make sure he's not there. He's not. Okay.
Okay, the motion passes. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, and I'll break the rule that I'm not supposed to talk after a resolution's been passed, but the cost on those, again, a lot of it is labor because of the, we're gonna have to get a lift and install those from the street. So that's part of the cost in installing those second floor eyebrows. But thank you very much.
How do they attach to the front of the building, Andy?
They'll do an adhesive to the brick and probably anchor it as well. But those will be painted over.
Okay. Just wondering.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
We also have with us tonight on item 6.3, Carrie from Fleming Architects is here on the floor plan for the firehouse. You've had a copy of that. Carrie, would you like to address the board on this?
Sure. As you can see, we have worked with the floor plan and got every requirement in that that you all have asked for. I can kind of walk you through the floor plan a little bit to explain. We have a front entrance on the west side of the building. You walk into a lobby, and to the right of the lobby, we have a watch desk area with access to get out into the apparatus bay and a small storage room. Through the lobby, you enter into the day room. There is a public restroom that's right there to the right when you walk in. And we have 3 offices on the left there for the fire chief office, the assistant fire chief, and then an additional office. In the day room area, we have plenty of space for seating. We've got recliner seating, and then we can also kind of expand upon that and have a training type area there. It also includes a conference table / kitchen table and a large kitchen area that will have a refrigerator, an ice machine, a stove with a range, and a sink, and plenty of storage. You kind of walk down the hall. There's also 2 small storage rooms in the day room conference area. And next to the storage rooms, we have a laundry room area. And you walk down that hall and there's 2 restrooms that both have showers in it. One is ADA accessible and the other one is not. We have an electrical room. And then we have down the corridor 4 bunks. Each bunk will have an extra long bed, table, and then 3 large lockers for storage. And further down that hallway, we have a door for a janitor's closet. And then we also have entrance into the safe space. This will be a FEMA rated tornado shelter. Within the space, we have a drying corridor for drying of turnouts that have just been washed and laundered. There is a decon restroom that has a shower in it. And then in the decon room, that will house the the new extractor, which will wash the turnout gears. And then we have the large apparatus bay that is large enough to house all of the trucks and equipment that you have listed to put into this building. And then outside on the right, there's a fenced in area that will house the the HVAC condensing units. Because this is a single gabled building, the units will have to sit outside on the ground. So that is where those units will be. And that is basically the floor plan. I hope I didn't go too fast for everyone.
Now, there's a porch to the north, right?
Correct. Yes, there is a porch, and you can get out there from either the corridor from the bunk area and also from the day room conference. And there will also be a sidewalk, an exterior sidewalk that will connect all of the openings.
I think I have a version of the outside on my computer someplace. But I'm not sure. I'm going to look around for just a second. No, that's not it.
Was there in that restroom that faces the bunks, was there a shower in that restroom?
The
Yes.
only room, yes, the only room that does not have a shower is the toilet room off of the day room and lobby
Okay.
area.
Okay. I couldn't tell if those are showers or not. Thank you.
Yeah. Mhm. And each of the shower rooms, or the restrooms that have showers in them, are large enough to where we can have a locker storage area as well. So you'll have plenty of storage areas in this building. Oh, and then also I didn't mention that there is a corridor that connects the day room to the apparatus bay. And off of that corridor is the maintenance repair apparatus storage room. So adding that hallway in there kind of separated the red zone from the green zone a little bit better.
The way that is now set up, a fireman can come back from a run, enter the decon room, take off all of his contaminated clothing, and then step next door and take a shower, and then come back out into the bunk area and not, we won't allow, in theory, you won't be going into the bunk area or the day room with turnout gear on that's been at a fire. The chief has approved this plan. We've had some other chiefs consult on it. Alan and Carrie have worked on it. So we think we've got it to the point that we need it to be now so that they can continue with the design. Is that correct, Carrie?
Correct. We are, the engineers are working and getting their designs started and worked out. So we are still moving forward.
Are those, the red, is that tornado resistant?
So the red lines, a fire station has 3 zones in it. You have your storage, which is your apparatus bay, your business, which is the day room office area, and then a residential, which is the bunk room area. So each one of those areas have to be separated per code by a fire rated wall. So
Okay.
those red lines represent that.
Okay.
And the safe space area includes, their tornado shelter includes the decon room, the toilet room, the drying corridor, and possibly that small janitor's closet. So it will hold about 12 people.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions?
Did you want to
Comments?
share the timeline on this, Carrie?
Yeah, we are still online to have the drawings with 100% CDs and drawings ready for bid on May 6th. We are still, I have a schedule that I have updated today, but I am I'm working with the USDA grant and the CDBG grant on what requirements they have for the documents, as when we finish the documents, when we finish it and before it goes out to bid, it has to be approved by them. So I'm working through with them on what those requirements are. But as of right now, that is our bid target date, is May 5th or May 6th.
I did check with USDA, and we don't have anything, any deadlines until 5 years from now, or 5 years
Okay.
from the project date. So, however, they do have to review certain documents as we go along. CDBG has a deadline by 3 months from the award date, which was in December. So it's, I think, at the end of February or beginning of March.
It's
That we'll have
March
to get an
28th.
extension on. We need an extension with CDBG,
Correct.
and Davina will help you with that extension.
Correct.
Yes.
And we're trying not to, we're trying to keep the schedule where it's at and not push it out any further. Even though we have 5 years to work on it, we don't want to take 5 years to build it. So we're still trying to keep within that original schedule that we had, where, because as soon as the fire station is finished and you're moved in, then we can move on to the next project.
And the CDBG money will be applied to each phase equally. I don't know how they're going to do that, but anyway, they will reimburse us. I guess if it's, if the CDBG money is 20% of the entire project, they'll reimburse us 80% of the 20% of that project each time we get a bid. So anyway, I think that's how it's going to go. So we'll have to spread that CDBG grant out over the entire 12 months of the project. It can't be used all at the beginning. It has to be used equally across the whole project.
Well, then we certainly need to keep going, because we can't apply for another CDBG until that one is finished.
That's correct.
So
Yes, sir.
the longer we stretch all that out, the less chance of getting another grant anytime soon.
That's correct.
Correct.
Well, we'll have to
And-
wait till 23 right now, the way it looks to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, but that's all right. I mean, yeah. The grant that we just got is 100% general fund money, so that's a big deal compared to sewer money or
Well,
other types of
well,
projects.
Any money that we can get is appreciated. So
Yes,
let's,
sir.
if we're going to build it, let's go on and do it. Are there any other questions? Comments? Okay, I guess no comments or no questions means they approve so far.
Fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys have a very wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Okay, now I've skipped around on the agenda so much, I wonder where we are.
I think we're under mayor's comments, Mayor.
Okay, I think so too.
Right here.
Presentation of Resolution 02-2021, a resolution honoring service by Senior Patrol Sergeant Daryl McCarley for 21 years of dedicated law enforcement service. If you would read the resolution, please.
Yes, sir. Whereas Sergeant McCarley served 21 years as a dedicated law enforcement officer within the town of Somerville Police Department, Haywood County Sheriff's Department, and Brownsville Police Department. And whereas Sergeant McCarley served in various capacities, including Senior Patrol Sergeant for the Somerville Police Department and Senior Department Training Officer. And whereas Sergeant McCarley held multiple credentials, including Accident Reconstruction Specialist, a member of the Critical Incident Response Team, and a longstanding member of the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Officers Association. And whereas Sergeant McCarley's accomplishments include winning first place for his department in the Tennessee Law Enforcement Challenge competition, which is awarded by the Governor's Highway Safety Office. And whereas Sergeant McCarley earned multiple commendations, including Somerville Police Department Officer of the Year in 2009 and 2010, as well as Somerville Police Department Traffic Officer of the Year in 2009 and 2010, and received multiple awards from the Governor's Highway Safety Office in 2011 and 2013. And whereas Sergeant McCarley's passions were organizing and implementing the Child Safety Identification Program at the Cotton Festival in conjunction with the Somerville Moose Lodge for many years, as well as being involved in the Critical Incident Response Team and training fellow officers. And whereas Sergeant McCarley leaves behind his wife of 18 years, Heather Marie McCarley of Somerville, Tennessee, and two fur babies, Ollie and Mem. And therefore be it resolved by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the town of Somerville that Senior Patrol Sergeant Daryl McCarley is hereby recognized by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the town of Somerville for 21 years of service and dedication to the citizens of Somerville and Fayette County, Tennessee. Everybody still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had gone on mute. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution honoring service by Senior Patrol Sergeant Daryl McCarley for 21 years of dedicated service. Is there any discussion? Would you call the roll?
Colin? Colin?
Colin, you're on mute.
Aye.
Mike? Sandra? Judy?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye. Resolution passes unanimously. Next item was 6.2, a presentation of the audit. Mr. Godwin cannot be with us tonight, so can we reset that to either the workshop or the board meeting, whichever one is more convenient,
Yes, sir.
for February?
Yep.
We have done the firehouse, the online sales tax analysis.
Mendy put this together and shows you how the online sales have increased over the years. And you can see that back in October of 19, it increased dramatically over the previous several months. I will say this, that if you look at the recent sales and the recent increase in sales from in the 40s to in the 50s every month, a sales tax revenue, sorry, you'll notice that really the online portion did not jump as drastically as I thought it would have. It's still around 20%, which is what it was beforehand. So I would attribute a lot of this increase in sales tax to people buying locally then. So it was a little kind of interesting to see that. So
I hope they keep doing that.
I hope they do too. I think they will. You know, people get used to doing things, you know, if your store's not open, they're going to go to another store and, you know, they'll get used to going to that other store, you know? So,
Well,
you know,
and working at home, not traveling into
right.
Memphis,
People are working at
purchase
home. They're not,
gas and
right. Well, plus
Right.
they're shopping locally because they're not driving to work in Memphis as much, that kind of thing. So it was kind of interesting.
Could we get this every month?
Sure. She's got it set up. She's ready to go.
Okay, thank you.
This actually represents October sales, which are what we just reported. That's the most recent data that we have at the moment.
Wow.
Right. So we're always 2 months behind where we are. So what you see in December's revenue is really October sales. So we're always 2 months behind.
So November should jump for
I would say
Christmas.
November and December ought to be interesting to see what December does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank y'all for that information. Any other questions on that? The consent agenda, is there anybody wish to pull anything off of the consent agenda for discussion? If not, is
Hey,
there
Mayor, I'd like to talk about the, wait a minute. Is it on there? Where is the Arts Commission? Is that on?
Right there.
That's on the
That's on the
consent
consent
agenda?
agenda?
Yes.
The only problem I have is you
You
make
wanna
all
pull-
the appointments.
Do you want to pull that? All right, we will take that off the consent agenda for discussion.
Okay,
So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda with the 7.1.2 being removed from the consent agenda?
I'll
So
make the
moved.
motion.
Is there a second?
Let
Second.
Judy
I'll
make the
second.
motion. I'll second it.
Okay, would you call the roll on the consent agenda without 7.1.2 on there?
Yes, sir. James,
Aye.
Sandra, Mike,
Aye.
Colin.
Sorry.
It's all right.
My computer died.
Judy,
I need to plug it in.
Judy,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. Now we will take up item 7.1.2, the Town of Somerville Arts Commission bylaws. Mr. French? Well, we need a motion to approve and then we will discuss.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the bylaws of the Town of Somerville Arts Commission. Now it's open for discussion.
Mayor, it says
Yes, sir.
that the mayor appoints. Could
Right.
we have those, the mayor appoint and then it be brought to the full board for approval?
You mean you don't, for approval?
Yeah, for approval of the commissioners. I mean, you may not always be mayor and somebody may want to stack it up with somebody, who knows who.
Weird people.
Thank you, Judy.
Never happens, Mike.
People who want adult movies and things like that on the scale.
What do you mean I may not always be mayor?
Well, I'm not going to comment on that.
We know we got you
Okay.
for 4 more years, so.
Okay,
Exactly.
so do you want to you want to offer an amendment? Do you want that to be the mayor appoint with the board's consent? Do you want it to read that the board appoints? With
No,
the mayor
that's
recommends
fine.
and
The
the
mayor
board
appoints
appoints?
with the board's consent.
Why not the mayor recommend and then the board approve?
That'd be good.
That's
Yeah.
fine with me.
Okay, so there is a motion to, where is that exactly?
That's, it's in Article 3,
Point one,
Section 2 there. All commissioners shall be appointed by the, to the
Okay.
TSAC by the mayor.
so we have an amendment to that to read that all commissioners shall be, what do we say, recommended by the mayor and approved by
Uh-huh.
the board?
Yes,
Is that what we said?
Right,
yeah,
that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, with that change, all right, call the roll on that change because we already have a roll on the original bylaws.
Okay.
Oh,
Mike,
wait, excuse me.
What?
Is there any discussion on that change? On the amendment? Seeing none, call the roll.
Mike,
Aye.
Judy,
aye,
Sandra, James,
Aye.
Colin,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. All right, so the amendment passes. So Article 3, Section 2 would now read, all commissioners shall be recommended by the mayor and approved. Is that what we said, and approved by the board?
uh-huh.
Or with the
Correct.
consent of the board, I think. Okay. You got that down, right, Bob?
I'll fix it up. Yes, sir.
All right. All right, now we're back on the original motion to approve the bylaws. Is there any discussion?
Who made the motion on the amendment? Sorry.
I made the motion on the amendment.
And who seconded the
Second.
motion on the amendment?
I
Judy.
did.
Okay, thank you. I was writing the amendment down and I lost track. Sorry.
All right.
Okay, is there any discussion on the motion to approve the bylaws as amended? If not, call the roll, please.
Sandra? James?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye,
Colin?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Okay.
The bylaws are approved. Now, if those of you that have people you want to recommend, if you would let me know,
I'll call you.
we will get started on this.
Okay.
Next item is.
I think there's only one item left, Mayor. I think it's the budget ordinance.
Right, a motion to adopt ordinance 2021-003, an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2021 budget on first reading.
So let me kind of read my staff report based on what the mayor asked for last time. So the background tells you the reasons why we've increased the budget, which I think everybody kind of knows what's going on there. We increased the budget, the original amendment the revenues will be increased by $573,538 due to additional tax revenue not previously budgeted and unbudgeted grant revenue received. The amendment will increase the revenue from 2.258 million to 2.831 million. Appropriations will be increased by 609,221. The amendment will increase the appropriations from 2.185 million to 2.794 million. As a result of this budget amendment, the general fund revenues in excess of operating expenses will decrease from the original budgeted $73,412 to $37,729. And that's positive cash flow, not negative. Just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. The new budget, let me just give you some of the highlights of what's in the new budget, or the amended budget, sorry. As far as what's included in there for what I added there. So in capital projects, first of all, we have all the insurance and all that stuff in there that we had to add in there because of the salary increases and healthcare insurance and all that. We included the $7,153 that was paid for that property down there in South Somerville that we condemned a few years ago. We also, sorry, I'm going through here myself. The firehouse project, I'm anticipating that we're going to be at $200,000 by the end of the year, but I don't know, after today, we might be further along than that, but I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that in there. If we have to do another budget amendment, we can do that later. But I just anticipated $200,000 additional. And I also included, I'm sorry, yeah. The extended TDOT grant, the $70,000, that's for the additional sidewalk from the grant we just finished, to include $70,000 worth of work on the sidewalks, an additional thing. Also, we included the 49,000, almost 50,000 for the 2 pickups that we got as a result of that grant money that we received from the state, or from the insurance company, sorry. No, CARES Act, sorry. The TNECD grant was never budgeted. We didn't think we had got the downtown grant. We budgeted it. That came in at 15,000. An additional 20,000 for the UTMS roofing project, based on the estimate we got from the 2 roofers that we did. Professional services for the museum. That's the design of the additional stuff for the design of the museum that Andy has done for us. The $108,000 for the storefront project, and then another 18,000 for the roof that we've already completed. And that's the exact amount that we paid for the roof. And then the drug expenses, I moved the police computer system from the general fund to the drug fund to utilize the funds within the drug fund. Are there any other questions regarding all that? Now I'll show you the revenues if you'd like. I'll give you a summary of that. Sorry. Local option sales tax, we're on a pace to do about $700,000 right now. If it continues, we should do in that neighborhood. And I can probably anticipate that November and December will be at least as much as they have been, maybe even higher. Wholesale beer tax, we're over 200,000 right now estimated, so I budget a little less. Liquor tax is around 90,000. We're working towards, I put about 80 on that. Permit fees, based on some of the new stuff, that might be light, but that's at an additional 15,000 in permit fees. An additional amount of money in site plan review fees, subdivision fees, CARES Act grant, a tourism cares program, another 60,000 in the, that should say 70,000. I'm going to need to change that before the next reading. That should say 70 in that line item. I'll check that and make sure of that. Oh no, that's the match. Sorry, never mind. That's the match. So we don't receive the full 70,000. Tennessee CARES Act grant. That's the grant that we got to pay for the 2 vehicles. Additional state shared sales tax, state income tax, which we did budgeted nothing for. And we got a lot more in sale surplus vehicles. So you can see each one of these has been increased.
Do you have the CARES grant in there twice?
There are 2 different CARES Act grants. One of them.
And they both totaled $48,015?
Yeah, you're right. It's in there twice. I'll have to check on that, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
I know what happened. I got it.
All
I
right.
put it in there in a different place because I didn't see where Amanda had put it in her budget. And then I just but I'll fix that.
So that will need to be taken out,
Yes, sir.
one of those. Okay. Are there other questions? This is on first reading, so there need to be amendments between this reading and the final reading on second reading. Are there any more questions? If not, is there do we have the motion?
No, sir.
Do we have a motion for pass on first reading?
Mayor, I'll make the motion to approve this on the first reading.
Okay. It's been
Who was the
moved and-
second? Colin?
Was.
Okay, is there any discussion? You'll call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mike,
Aye.
Judy,
Aye.
Sandra,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Colin,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Motion passes. That is all of the business on the agenda. Is there any new business that needs to be brought up?
Do you want to settle on a location for the public hearing meeting?
Settle on a location for the public.
Well, I have to
hearing.
advertise that public hearing in next week's Falcon.
Right,
So
you mean for the rezoning?
for the rezoning, yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to figure out the logistics of that between now and publishing it in the paper.
Okay.
We can do that. Because we can still do it by Zoom. We just need to, in the paper, make sure that people understand how they can participate in the Zoom meeting.
Yes, sir.
I guess we also could have a location at City Hall to allow somebody who felt like they needed to show up in person, but we will work that out so that it will be legal. We may need to consult the city attorney on that to make sure that we do that correctly. Is there anything else? If not, the score is 7-7. Alabama's about to score again. Not that I'm watching it out of the corner of my eye here at my desk. First and goal, Alabama, into the first quarter. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
everybody.